Alright, so in today's video I'm heading back out to do the ugly lawn project, but I had somebody else stop by and say hello.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm looking at a 3-hour ride. Let's do it.
Up. It's on camera. It's happy.
I'm ready.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production, take 2.
Now we're doing
Yo,
it.
I'm here with my besties.
What's going on?
I want to jump on the tramp and Ryan won't let me
Come on,
Well-
Ryan. You're slacking here.
because
I'm not
he
putting
likes
up
his
that
lawn
tramp
too
yet.
much.
I do love my yard, but I love my kids more, but I hate that tramp.
Let him jump on the
Hate it.
trampoline.
Hate the trampoline.
Exactly. You should have dug it in.
I hate him!
Alright, so back in the outer rim of Utah. It is early in the morning. In fact, the sun is just getting over the horizon, and we are now getting ready to continue on changing out the sprinkler system and getting everything reset. So yesterday when I got up here, it was fairly late, and we were able to get one zone done and get everything reset, get the new nozzles in, and we were able to come in and cap these sprinklers that are no longer to be needed. And so you just took that off, threaded the head off, threw a threaded cap on it onto what was the elbow, and made sure it was tight and water is not leaking out. And then to be able to save those and make sure that we know we can find them again, is he's going to take a metal washer, put it down in there with it, so that if he ever needs to access it again, he can use a metal detector to find where it's located. So pretty good idea. That was his, not mine. So we're going to continue through the rest of the day, get everything changed out, and get this entire sprinkler system dialed in. Now, one thing I did forget to say is that according to the weather, we're looking at getting some pretty high winds around noon, 1 o'clock. That's why we're up as early as we are. But we're going to get these holes backfilled, and then we're going to calibrate this system, or this zone, to see how long it's going to take to get the right amount of water, so we know the length of time the sprinklers need to run to get down a ½ inch within the estimated time. All right, just to review some of the things that we've done is that we are putting all Hunter MP Rotators. If you know my channel, you know I'm a big fan of them. Some people don't like them, that's fine, people don't have to. But in my personal opinion, they help give the best overall precipitation rates and the best overall coverage, and the ability to allow the water to, especially in areas like this where the clay soil is so thick and heavy that you need enough time for the water to be able to permeate down through the ground. Well, what we've done is we've removed the old heads. These are just some Rainbird 1800s, and we've now gone to these pressure regulated PRS40s that will maintain the pressure at 40 psi, because that's the optimal range. Thank you, Mick. That's the optimal range for the heads to be operating on. So 40 is the max performance, to where everything's running exactly right, and all of the heads that we're changing out are all going to be PRS40 heads. Thanks, Mick. Okay, so we've got some calm conditions right now. Later on in the day, it's supposed to get really windy, and when it gets windy here, it gets windy.
What sound?
Like Chicago is the windy city in the Midwest. This place gets crazy windy. Right now there's a slight breeze, but nothing that's going to deter us from being able to get the job done. So we're going to calibrate this system in this zone now, and we're going to do that by using these rain gauge spike gauges. I'll leave the description down in the description down below. You can use a tuna can. You do not have to buy these, but these are great because I do this so much that it just makes it really simple and really easy. They're fairly inexpensive, but if you don't want to do that, you can grab some tuna cans or something that will hold water that won't spill over, and you can measure the water out of that. Run it, get a reasonable amount of water in. We're going to try to run it and get about, we're going to run it for 15 minutes. We're going to see what we get, and we're going to then extrapolate from there exactly how long it would take to get it down ½ an inch. So let's mark these now, and then we'll run the system. Now, I've gone ahead and set these in a fairly decent grid pattern. Some of them have been set in areas that I really want to be able to tell, are we going to get the coverage? Either because there wasn't enough coverage earlier, or because we've removed a couple heads, I want to make sure that we're getting the right amount of coverage in those areas. So we're going to run it for 15 minutes. We're going to then see exactly how much water we have in each one of the cups, and then be able to, again, gauge out how long it would take to get ½ an inch of water down in one single zone run. Because getting your water dialed in, as I've said before, is 60% of your battle in getting your yard right. The rest after that is going to be your nutrients. It's going to be the weed control. It's going to be pest and grub control. It's going to be getting some of the other things down, like your soil amendments, things like that. All that is going to get you to the best level that you can bring your yard, but the lion's share of the battle is that water. Get it dialed in, and then go from there. All right, so we've now allowed the system to run for 15 minutes. We're gonna now check our cups, but as we're going along, I'm going to call out to Trent what the measurements are in that 15 minutes so we can then, and he's gonna write it down on his map that he's got here, where each one was, so we can see if there are any weak spots, we'll know. If there's a little extra, we'll know that as well, and then we're gonna be able to get it gauged and calibrated in how long it should take to get that 1/2 inch down per watering cycle. We are at 2/10 of an inch. Write that down. 2/10 of an inch. Two-tenths of an inch, just a skosh over, but not as tight. 0.3. 0.3. 0.2. 0.25. So in that one area, in 15 minutes, we got a 1/4 inch down. So by doing the math, if we were just going by just that one area, it would take 30 minutes to get that 1/2 inch down in that area. But we're doing the whole thing to make sure that we're calibrating this as a whole. This one is 0.2. So by calculating that one out, you're going to be looking between 35 and 40 minutes to get up to that 1/4 inch. You're going to be a little heavier in those other areas, but unless you're doing a full tear everything out and redo the entire thing, which is a lot of expense and a lot of time, right now we're looking at getting it just within tolerance to get to that 1/2 inch per cycle. This one is all by itself. It's not part of the line. 0.2. Now we've written this down, and of course it's very, very small, but you can see he's made notations of what the measurements are. Everything stayed at close to 0.2 the majority of the time, but we had that one that was 0.1 here, 0.1 here and here, and then we did have one that was a 0.3. The 0.3 I'm not nearly as worried about, and even this 0.1 I'm not quite as worried about, is because when the sun comes over, this is going to be in the shade at least half the day. So I either can take ahead and make sure that we're getting better coverage over here just a little bit, but it's not going to fry. These are the ones that I'm the most concerned about. I think that we put some MP 1000s in there. They probably should have been 2000s because they're not reaching it quite like they should. And so we're going to, I'm going to swap those out and put some 2000s in there. So simple fix to get it done, but that is what allows you to get it done right. Now, if you don't take the time to calibrate, well, what will be the telltale sign is you're going to start seeing it dry up in areas. Well, then you need to immediately adjust or assess and adjust, and then you should be able to have it dialed in after that point. But getting this dialed in is key and paramount to the success of your yard. All right, now that I've reset these to 2000s, I'm going to run the system and I'm going to see how close my math is. I am going to run it for 40 minutes. According to the math, that should get me to my 1/2 inch in that zone. So we're going to run it for a full 40. So it's kind of a two-part calibration. You're doing the first one just to kind of get a good initial idea of how long you need to run it and then do the math. Then you can do a full calibration by running it for that amount of time and see, were you right? Did you get that 1/2 inch down in that amount of time? So let's get this moving. All right, so what we're going to be doing here is that we're retroing this system. It's already an installed system, but because we want to get the absolute best pressure and best operating pressure at 40 pounds PSI, we are having to swap out these Rainbird 1800 heads, which there's nothing wrong with these. They're great and they're fairly inexpensive. I think they're about $1.84 right now. These Hunter Pro sprays have a regulator, and you can see it. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but you can see it down inside. But it regulates the pressure at nothing more than 40 pounds. So if you've got 65 pounds of pressure in your line, no matter what, this will regulate to every head that has one of these down to 40 psi, and you will be operating through your nozzles at the most optimum performing psi that it needs to be able to reach its maximum potential. It will keep it from misting. It will keep it from not getting far enough. I would not use one of these if you've got pressure less than 40. If you have 35 pounds of pressure, do not use these because these won't do you any good. But if you've got up and above 45 or 50, then you could use these. But the simple change out is you just simply unthread the head, thread the new head back on, make sure she's tight. That's what she said. And you should be good to go. Now, once that's in, simply change the head or the nozzle out. Okay, the wind is starting to kick up, which I'm so excited about. It's going to cause any other future calibrations to not go as well as we would like. So we're going to get this system in. We're going to be putting down seed and fert and all that, and he's going to have to worry about keeping it damp. So for the remainder of this next month, the calibration won't be quite as important. What we will do is if we do come in on next week and put down that stuff, as soon as everything starts to germinate, we can do a calibration then, and then as normal watering proceeds, that's when the calibration will absolutely need to be in effect. But for right now, we're going to just do our very, very best. He's going to keep it damp for the seed to germinate, and then we'll really dial in the calibration on the system thereafter, because that's when it's going to be needed. All right, so I was going to continue with this, is that we are moving some heads. And what Trent has done, some of the legwork he's done prior to me getting here, is that when we marked these out on the first video, we figured that we needed to move some heads. So we're going to literally move this head over to here, and he's already dug this up, has run the funny to the spot to where we need to set it so that it can better reach everything. And then we're going to just take this head out, we're going to cut the pipe, we're going to splice it, and then run it down here and cap it, or put the proper head on, and we should be good to go from there. Well, Trent, what we got here?
Well, you got a Rainbird Maxi Paw 2045.
Do you know what I call those?
No, I do not.
I call those the rat bastard children of Satan. I hate them. So, this is the only reason I'm even up here.
Lies. Oh, lies!
I'm not up here for any other purpose other than take these off.
You're not going to throw that, are you?
Oh, I'm not going to throw it. I'm going to do something else to it. And this is what we're going to do. This is what I think of these. They suck. If you've got Maxi Paws, I'm sorry, but they are the absolute worst sprinkler head. They're built off an old technology. Sorry, Rainbird. There's a lot of things you do that I love, but Maxi Paws are not one of them. If you've got Maxi Paws, update to something with better technology. Probably get all sorts of hate mail on that one. Hey everybody, just wanted to do a quick reminder about our 2022 subscriber giveaway. We are giving away 2 dethatchers that have been featured in some of my previous comparison videos. At the 2,500 subscriber mark, we're going to give away the Lawn Master Dethatcher Scarifier, and at the 3,000 subscriber mark, we're going to give away the AJ801E Dethatcher Scarifier as well. To be eligible, all you need to do is be a subscriber, go in and like the video for the comparison of the Works Dethatcher, the Sunjoe 805E, and the Lawn Master Dethatcher Scarifier. Please leave a comment down below, share it with your friends, and when we get those 2 subscriber marks, we'll announce the giveaway winner. I'm really excited to be able to give back to the community for all the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and all the love that has been given to the channel this year. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.